If you want to see us make a backyard foundry and cast a couple of coins today, I'd say you picked a good day to watch another one of our videos. We have all of these parts, all of these tools, cut to the B-roll and all that amazing stuff that we are here to make the actual burners and the foundry today. I've got Malia, my youngest, behind the camera today. Malia, thanks for being here today. This is like special casting sand that we're gonna be using, and it's very dangerous. See, danger, contains crystal silica. Don't breathe it. These are graphite crucibles that we're able to heat up to like thousands of degrees, like over 2,000 degrees. And with the crucibles, we can then melt the aluminum, we can melt the brass and the copper, and we can clean all that up. We've got a sander back there, Malia. We've got a drill up here, just a couple of drill bits. We're also gonna be using a tap and die set. What it allows us to do is we are able to actually make our own threads. We could make these threads. If we wanted to, we could make these threads. We're going to be using the M5 today. M5 by 0.8. It lines up with this bolt, so those are the same thread pattern. And then it tells us what drill bit to use. It says 11/64 on there, if you can see that. So 11/64, drill number 7. So we are looking for a 1/4 number 7, nearest fractional drill size, 13/64. Okay, so we're gonna need that one. This is my trash can I've been using like all week. I've had this thing for years, and we're going to make it so this trash can will not melt with thousands of degrees of heat inside of it.
That's possible?
Oh yeah, because what we're gonna do, I actually have dirt from the RX7 to make this really authentic.
Oh yeah.
As well as an insulating blanket, which you can heat up to like 2,500 degrees or so.
Wow.
And castable refractory cement, so you can heat this up to 2,800 degrees. We're gonna take that casting sand, we're gonna take our 3D stamps that we've had made, we're going to stamp them in the sand, and we're going to make coins out of the car that we've been hacking apart with this 6-part series. So let me give you a rundown of some of the additional stuff that we actually have here. 12-foot propane hose, and it has a 30 PSI regulator on there. But I want this thing to like heat up super fast, and I want like heat going on both sides of the crucible rather than just kind of on one side as a vortex going around. I actually have a 3/8 line that's going to be coming into a 3/8 brass tee. This little puppy is gonna go right into there. And so these hoses is once we come up to like the edge of the tank here, or the foundry that we're making, Malia, then each one of these hoses is what's going to have the burner that we're making on the end of it.
Okay.
3/8 connection to the brass tee. From there, we're gonna take the 3/8 ferrule connection to a ferrule 45-degree elbow. And with that one, it's going to be attached to the hose. So we're gonna take that into a quarter. So this went from a 3/8 to a 1/4 inch. So we're now down to a 1/4 inch. We're then going to attach that to that, and that to that, and that to that, and that to that, and we're gonna drill holes, and in the end, there's gonna be fire, Malia.
Crazy.
Yes. Okay, so we have the 3/8 ferrule to 1/4 inch to, this is called a gas ball valve. In fact, some of them might be called a water oil gas ball valve, but you'll see inside of it, as we turn it, there's a little ball that turns in there, and that's why they call it a ball valve. So we have a galvanized 1/4 inch coupler. In fact, it even says a 1/4 on the side. What we're gonna do is we're actually going to attach this inside of, and this is 1.5 to 3/4 reducer coupling is what they call it. So this is a coupling, Malia. So 1/4 to 1/4. This is 1.5 to 3/4. And that's going to go into the coupler here. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the drill bit from the inside. We're then going to tap it. So that way we now have threads. And then we're going to attach and this is our propane nozzle. This is where the propane is actually going to come out of this little piece right here. flat, doesn't it, Malia? So that way I can drive the drill through there. Now, because this is going to be mounted inside of it with those bolts coming through, we need to make flat edges on this as well that will attach, that when they come in they can push against it. I bet you we don't have to flatten that. I bet you we can leave that as is. So let's try it. If not, then we'll come back and redo that. Just for the record, also, for anybody that's like watching this, if you follow my channel for any amount of time, I do very little research going into something. In the end though, it normally always works. And as you saw when you started this video, it actually worked. So now we're showing you why it works. We need to drill the tap hole into this. And it's always best if you like put it into like a bench vise, which is like the thing that like screws over there. But if you look at mine over there, but that's a really small one for small projects. I don't have a nice big one. And so as a result, we're going to try to use our steady hand here, hit this as hard as we can, as fast as we can to make our little indentation without this thing flinging and flying all over. All right, look at that. Now we got a little indentation on that. And that should help this little guy to start driving right in there, that he won't slide all over the place. Oh! Yep, I hit my thumb a little bit, but look, we still got a dent. I'm excited to be back in the water, because this little silly Corona thing has gone on way too long. Got snagged in there. Oh! Why am I hurting myself so much, Malia? Oh, big sliver on the board there. Oh, there it is. Thing hurt. All right, gloves are going on. Back to work. Next up, Malia, we need to drill into the brass, the 1/4" brass caps is what we're drilling into next. This one is really, really, really important, Malia, that we want this one to be straight up and down, because this one is what your nozzle is gonna go in, and we wanna make sure that the nozzle is facing straight down this tube. And then the reason why I'm using this board underneath, instead of just my board, is so that way
Go through the table.
it doesn't go through my, my other table. Look at that, dead center. Isn't that pretty? So we need to do one more just like that, and then we will tap those. All right, that is beautiful. And now, watch this. Look at that. That's exactly what we wanted. Now I'll just cinch it down just a little bit. Here it goes. Now it's really crooked. Okay, simple enough, just like that, Malia? Mm-hmm. All right. And now you are making your first set of threads ever in your entire life.
Okay.
And it's always best if you actually secure like whatever it is that you are trying to work on into something solid like a vise. But like I said, that one is a little too small.
Oh, a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Someday I'll have a real garage.
I don't think it's going. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's going through.
Look at that. All right, it works.
It works.
Good job. They don't even want to see me on the show anymore. They just got you as the pro at this.
It's tool time.
Uh-huh. Nice and tight. That's on, off. Okay.
Okay.
That now takes us to the part where we are going to assemble that puppy onto there. There you go. Use that. Now pop them through. You're gonna give up crocheting and needlepoint and whatever else you do and dance.
No, never dance.
Just to start hanging out with me and doing this. Are you like me? No, you just want to see the fire part of it?
No, that's the part I'm scared for.
You what?
Scared for the fire.
Oh, no, it'll be fun. Just like that, except bigger. We have to set the back of this, okay? Flush with the back of this.
Okay.
In there like that. We also need to make sure that the nozzle there, the front of that, is coming out straight. This is just like leveling up the Christmas tree, just like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so there, ooh, there we go. Okay, that's looking good there. That one's good there. If you look on that side, see how they're all nice and secure against that as well? I don't think we could get any better than that. On our next part, we're gonna be slapping this puppy in there, this one on there, this part, and then we hook it to the hose. And then, voila, man. Like that's how close it is being done. All right, straight down the pipe still. You see that? Okay, here we go. And let's just go ahead and hook that one all the way up. There it is. One is done. I think that's it. We now have, if we've done this correctly, Malia, we now have 2 burners that are going to work. Let's just listen. See if there's some coming up. You hear that? Look at that! We made our first torch, Malia. I like it. Now, we've changed the airflow on here. See how it changes?
Yeah.
That's a nice hot flow. That's woo, no flow. Now, watch this. Turn the other one on. Woo-hoo-hoo! Now we got a double burner. Light it. Well, the next step in the process, Malia, we got to make a foundry.
Alright.
What do you think about dear old dad tonight?
Oh, I'm scared of those.
Okay, we are going to turn this well-used steel trash can into a fiery furnace foundry that can withstand over 2,000 degrees. And I think that still melts at like 2,500. So as long as we don't go over 2,500, we should be all right.
How do you maintain the temperature?
You just turn the burners on. If it starts to melt, turn the temperature down.
Okay.
It sounds simple enough.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to create a base with this wonderful stinky mud there that is from the RX7 to make it like really authentic. So we're going to build up a base so that way the top of our crucible is probably, well, looks good there, about 3 inches from the top or so. And then we're going to drill holes in the side so that way a burner is kind of shooting out this direction and a burner's shooting out this direction. So as the heat comes around, it's going to create a nice little vortex circling around inside. In order to keep the metal container as well as the temperature from getting to the base, that's where the 2-inch insulating foam comes in, or insulation. And this stuff is like really terrible. So as we're touching it, you want to be wearing gloves as well as a mask. So you don't want to like be touching your eyes and your face after you touch this either. So I've mixed it in a little bit of backyard sand, a little bit of RX7 mud, and a little bit of gravel. I'd say that's pretty dang good. And that was a good guesstimate. Like we didn't even measure that out to begin with.
Yeah.
That is really close to perfection. Oh, it's actually down there a little bit farther than I kind of want it to be. I think I'll just go ahead and leave it as is though. Roughly
So like that to get a nice little skirt. One other thing we want to do is not cut it down too far to begin with.
Yeah.
Like this. One side's getting smaller than there. I need to trim it so that way it stops, like right here. So we'll cut that all the way around. And then we have to also come in here and see how it's like perfect right here, but not quite inside. Oh, I wonder if I could just push that. Now I gotta cut that up a little bit. So let's trim this first, and then we can trim the inside a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So our biggest problem in all this, Leah, is going to be getting tongs in there to get the crucible in and out.
And cut it in half.
Well, but we're going to bring this up just a little bit. Oh yeah, see now we can get some tongs in there. Even after we put the Foundry cement in there.
Yeah.
It should work.
Right there. And we want to go kind of this angle. See how we want to angle it in straight through here like this. We don't want to go straight onto the crucible. We're going to go to the outside of it and make the fire go around.
Alright. Oh yeah, I'd say I'm happy with that, Leah. Because see then, I can bring the burner in, and then we're going to angle it like straight that direction. Actually, let's go this way. I can go this way with this one. The reason why I'm going to go that way is because I have this chain here that I want to have here to help hold this up for some support. Oh, that's, ow! Ow! Holy shit, that's hot!
You okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's gonna blister later.
Ooh.
What are we not gonna do? We're not gonna touch that, man. Alright, exactly what we wanted there, man.
I've seen some foundries where they have a hole here and a hole here, but the ones that work out the best have the hole in the very center, because then you can drop metal straight in without having to take the lid completely off. 932 degrees, you can grab onto these. So we'll be using those to hold on to like the lid, take the lid off and on. There we go. Looks about right. I tried so hard, and in the end, it didn't really matter. We should TikTok a lot more, Leah. Actually, do you know I have a TikTok?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know I have a TikTok, it's a TikTok, Mr. Lysick.
Why don't we open the garage door a little bit?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There we go. We got it.
I mean, I'm happy with that. Probably want to like smooth that out a little bit so we won't cut ourselves on it. So I had some chicken wire out back in Leah. It's been out back for like 10 years, maybe longer, but I have an idea with it. We're gonna fold the chicken wire up and over. We're gonna cut that so it comes up. And so we're gonna be using those to help secure the chicken wire with the Foundry cement over the top of it, hiding the bolts with them sticking up out of the top of the lid, so that way I have like little handles to grab onto. Did I mention I kind of just make stuff up as I go along?
I don't know if you mentioned it on here, but...
You know that about me though, right?
Yeah.
My plans always change and pivot. In the end, they usually always work out. And this is just kind of for the Foundry cement to attach itself to, is what the purpose of all this is.
Okay.
So I'll take it and stuff it in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill down through here. We're gonna drive these so that way this will actually catch and hold the chicken wire in there as well, so that way the lid is gonna be nice and tight, and then we'll finish doing the Foundry cement.
Okay.
Fasten them from the other side here. Oh no!
That one's all the way down, that one's all the way down, that one's all the way down, so those are as far as they'll go. That one's good right there. With our gloves, we'll be able to pick up on these, pull it off. We'll start casting our Foundry cement, and hopefully we have enough. I got a 25-pound bucket of it, but after looking at a lot of this, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to cover all this. So, clean burn, castable refractory cement, directions. Pour desired amount of dry mix in a separate bucket or container and return any unused mix back into the original bucket. Under normal atmospheric conditions, set will occur between 9 and 10 hours. So we'll let it go for overnight. Heat can be applied 24 hours after the mix is set. So we have to wait more than a day before we can start applying some heat. Please note, in order to avoid cracking, your starting temperature should be below the boiling point of water. So I feel like we're gonna need all of this.
Yeah.
But I don't know how fast it's going to set up either.
Whoa.
Ooh, you hear that feather sound?
What else can happen?
It's got some gravel stuff in there too.
Yeah, it's like sand almost.
Well, and it says it's silica type of a material too, so it says make sure you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, don't breathe that. So now we're going to use Mom's good glass jar here.
Oh.
We're going to measure this out. So let's do, we need to do 10%. Let's just start seeing where this goes. Alright. There's 2 cups. There's 4 cups. 5 cups. Alright, half a cup of water. That's not very much to make that work. I mean, like, oh, don't go too fast. You'll rip your arm off. And I still say more water.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna do 2. That's
It's like
it.
regular cement now.
Yeah, look what I got now. I got just a little bit of this going there. Like that I'm happy with. Let this one set up a little bit and then we'll come back to it after we do the lid.
Your handles on the bottom are a little crooked.
Oh yeah. Ask your cuz, remember what was the lesson, Leah? Doesn't have to be pretty, just gotta be done.
My big hope also that I didn't think about, I mean, that's still a lot of weight. And is that gonna hold up on the chicken wire, and is it going to like allow itself to all the way through? Or, I don't know, I guess we're just gonna have to see, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a trial and error.
Yeah.
We'll see what works. I don't think we really have enough to like really do anything big with this. I mean, maybe later today, but I mean, I think the big thing is we're just gonna go ahead and order more up. So let's order more. After that, we'll come back, we'll kind of cast part of this, and then we'll finish casting it in a couple days when the rest of the casting cement shows up. Okay, it's been like a week. I got Malia doing dance class. We got Kiki, the camera girl, back behind the camera. Welcome, welcome, Kiara. And I have new refractory cement. So I have a whole nother bucket of this. We now have 2 buckets of it. So we can finish out, to bring you up to speed, Kiara, what we have going on is we have basically mixed it up kind of like concrete, and then we're just gonna like pat it in there. And this entire lid ended up holding up really nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish off just a little bit more with a little refractory cement there. But the underside of that lid is looking really good. If you look inside of the bucket here, we're going to put like a 1/2 inch to roughly an inch layer of that refractory cement all the way inside of it, as well as a little bit there on top. We're then going to let it dry for an entire day, Kiara. We'll then put the torches in there, warm it up nice and gentle, and by tomorrow evening, we're going to be testing some of the metal. We're gonna put it in the crucible here and start melting it down and getting it ready to be casting the coins.
Yeah, alright, so we can dump it in there.
You know, we might have to do this in like different batches because it feels like it's not going to work all the way up the wall here. So let's lay it on its side here, and then we'll just kind of work it there. And then we'll let it dry, and then we'll kind of roll it and work more, and we'll roll it and work more. I think that might work.
What are you doing now?
Oh, so
Because that's still wet, we have to let it dry before we can turn the can more.
Yeah.
Because if we turn the can, then it's gonna wanna fall. So let's just let this set up for a couple of hours. Maybe we're gonna have to wait another day, I don't know. But once it does, then we'll be able to do another third, and then the final third, and then that will be, well, and then we'll have to do the top of it.
It's like a sandcastle.
A lot of stages to this, Kiara. 24 hours later. Most of this is dried up here, Kiara. And so now we're gonna be able to actually turn this bucket, because now this should not fall off of the ceiling there.
Hey, did what, 2 batches yesterday?
Yes. I think so.
And then, really, we just have to go from there to there tomorrow. So, it's looking really good. Alright, that's it. Then tomorrow, we'll do that part.
Day 3, or 4, or 5, or 6. I don't even know how many days we got now. But what I do know is that I've lost Malia, I've lost Kiara. We now have Kristen behind the camera, and we're gonna finish off this 1/3 little section back here, honey. So, we haven't told you how dangerous this actually is, have we? Crystalline silica. It can cause cancer and some other bad stuff.
just taking a lot longer than I had anticipated.
You thought you could get it all done in one day?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be done in like 3 hours. That's how all my projects go though, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Alright, another day. We gotta get the top of this right here. So we just gotta finish that real quick. And then we are building Leah some walls today for her dance studio. You gotta be quick with this.
Too many tasks?
Way too many things on my plate right now. Just a little bit of a repair there. I had to knock it out for the torch to come through here, right here. Can you see that? And when I knocked that out, I ended up knocking a portion of that out. Alright, I say that's good enough. Let that dry for 24 hours, and tomorrow we should be using the Foundry. I'm excited.
Oh, good.
Finally here.
We are finally gonna fire this thing up. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. You nervous, Kira?
Yes.
Me too. But I think it'll be alright. I saw a YouTube video on this one time. So some comments were saying there might be some magnesium in those wheels. And if there's magnesium in the wheels, it will actually go and the metal will actually blow up.
Wow.
What they said to do was test it out first by just using your torch on it and see if it will melt. And then if it melts, then you can go ahead and throw it in the crucible. Yeah, so there's no magnesium in that. It was definitely starting to melt, little aluminum droplets on there. So we're gonna use our medium-sized crucible, and we're gonna just see how long it's gonna take that to melt down. Woo, look at that going around. Seems to be working. So if anything goes wrong, with like flames start coming out the side and it catches the back end on fire for some reason, like it's starting to want to do right there, we might have to turn that one off and the propane thing. It might actually burn our line. Well, that's actually probably not a good thing. Turn our regulator down. Nah, let's go down. Let's go down to like 15. Maybe I just don't have enough pressure on it. If anybody actually knows, comment down below. You listen to it. Is that sounding right? Do we need more air pressure or more gas pressure? Less gas pressure? Do we need more airflow in there maybe? Kira, like if we took the lid off? Oh, no, I think the other thing I was supposed to do, the Foundry, I mean it sat for like 2 days to dry, but I think that I was supposed to actually like kind of break it in first with like a slow fuel burn, like low burners. So that's the other thing, is the concrete in that could actually blow up if it still has moisture in it. No comment from you? Are you nervous? Like I think if you just stay right here behind the fence and you peek through the cracks, I think you'll be alright. The good news is, Kiara, the end of this is not hot at all. So that's good news. I'm gonna put a coat on just in case it blows up. And these bad boys, I got these on Amazon. 932 degrees before you get burned with these. Let's just grab like a little bit of a casting sand and we'll do like just a little stamp. It's not going to be anything pretty, we just want to like kind of get it going in there. We'll we'll just do like a little test pour tonight. All right, I'm gonna destroy your muffin tins. I'll buy you new ones if I need to, honey.
We'll need to if you're using them on dirty metal.
No, it's gonna be clean metal.
No.
Nothing's more pure than metal that is like 1,000 degrees. And normally for casting sand, like 100% people are gonna say like, oh, that's not how you use casting sand. The way that you're supposed to properly use casting sand, Kiara, you're supposed to put like your little stamp or whatever on the bottom, and then you put all the sand in, and then you tamp it down, and then you take that and then you flip it over, and then you like put the two sides together. It's a big long process, but you know me, I like to shortcut things and do things the easy hard way. If we mess anything up, we can pour the aluminum back in and make another batch. So this is for scientific research purposes only. See, powdered up, good to go. Woo, that might be working a little bit. There it is, Key. It's gonna be our very first 6 that we do. And let's drop this in to melt that as well. Well, we got fire coming out the sides now, Kiara. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Probably not a good thing. That's still cold, that's good. Woo, that's looking good in there, Keith. Back on there, but I don't dare go over there right now. Well, one of us has to do it. 1, 2, 3, nose goes. Hear it? The hose is still cool, that's good news. If our hose heated up and caught on fire, then we have propane going everywhere. That would be bad. On top is called slag. It's like all the impurities in the metal is what it is, and that's why we're like pulling that off, because we don't want to cast that in the coins. We want just like pure metals with wood. Oh, my lid's burning the foodie stove too. See that big steel piece there? So the steel has to be like 2,000 plus degrees, so that's why that one's not melting. But that thing is solid, right? Just feel the heat coming off of that. Ooh, ooh. Ow! Oh! Ow! Ow! Ooh! Alright, let's just try grabbing it with one real quick. Grab it, pull it in, out. Oh, so hot! Ow! Ow! So hot! Oh! Oh! So hot! Ow! Ooh, look at that! Catch our log on fire, Kiara. You're gonna have to move that. Yeah, I better get some proper tools for this, huh?
Yeah.
Well, simple enough. Alright. Here we go. Oh, that's too much. Oh. That's just about right. That's just about right. That's just about right. That's just, ooh, that's too much. That's just about right. There we go. Look at that bubbling too. Wonder how long it takes to cool down. Can I pop them? Oh yeah, you can pop them. Alright, let's put the fire out. Alright, those are solid now. Oh, it didn't even, look at that. There's an entire hole and a bubble in there. We got like nothing for the coin cast. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. What if, maybe the metal is just too hot and I have to wait for it to like cool down a little bit. Not like right now, but I mean before I actually pour it. Like I need the proper pouring temperature. Because that is really, really sad. Maybe the sand has to be positioned better. So maybe I just need a tighter sand. No, because I'm still getting bubbles here. Well, Kiara, on that note, I'm gonna say, we're not done yet. Wow, I mean, we're done for today. So if you've not already done so, make sure to subscribe and turn on the little bell notification. That way you don't miss the next video. The good news for everybody else who has been putting up with me during this car series, this RX7, we are actually getting back in the water tomorrow. I'm going back in the water. So that means next week, you might actually get a car video. And then we'll get back to the whole coin casting because I still think it's a good idea. I just need to figure out the best way to do this, right, Kiara?
I don't know.
I got nothing else going on today. Thanks for watching. Later. Bye-bye.